Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis. And today we are going to be talking about Quant Network, aka QNT. So with that being said, let's just dive in and let's start off with the overall price of QNT right now. So one thing that I've been looking at with a lot of these tokens is the boring price action. We've been looking at a few tokens. In fact, if we go back to the top 100, we go back to the 30-day gainers, a few of these assets, like for example, XDC or XLM, XRP, any of these major assets, guess what happens right before the big moves? Well, you see this long sideways price movement, and then all of a sudden, boom, big things start to happen. It happens with all of these tokens. Here's XLM, here's even XRP, and guess where QNT is? Oh yeah, that's right. QNT is just going sideways, going sideways, going sideways. So what do you think happens next on QNT? This thing is going to have a big break. And honestly speaking, when I look at this thing, this looks extremely strong. So I said anything around or under $100 is a buy signal to me on QNT, because I do believe that we will see a new all-time high eventually here soon for QNT, where QNT is trading well above $400. And that is going to be something very special. Now, what I really want all of you to understand is that we are at a very, very big moment for crypto. And what big moment is that? Well, we're in this market before the big players jump in. And what's happening right now is we're starting to see testing, trials being ran, experiments being ran. Quant's also at the forefront of that with the BIS, the Bank of England, you name it. And also just recently, we start to see a big push on tokenization. I've been very vocal on tokenization. In fact, I recently made a tweet, which I did include in an XRP video. And just to kind of give you guys a breakdown, there's quadrillions of dollars out there that will be tokenized. You look at real estate, a $300+ trillion market, equities, $100 trillion plus. So these are huge markets. And I said, take a second to think about the power behind tokenization. And I even said, remember that everything of value will be tokenized eventually. And then I said, over the next 5 to 10 years, we will see trillions flowing through the space, as if we are seeing, hundreds of, dollars being thrown around the space right now. So the future is a space where a lot of these tokens, including QNT, are valued at probably $1 trillion plus market caps, which is going to be very exciting. And I've talked about that. And a lot of people will say, Nick, you're absolutely crazy. There's no way that QNT is going to $1 trillion plus market cap. And that's totally fine, right? Like I don't need reassurance from anyone to tell me what I think about these tokens, because I've done so much research and I understand what I hold. When I look at QNT, I look at QNT as the gateway for the traditional world to come onto the chain. And when we look at that, right, like, we're starting to see big banks backing DeFi. In fact, we recently just seen 18 hours ago, Italian central bank backs DeFi tokenization project with Polygon Fireblocks. This was huge, right? So more and more tokenization is being experimented by the big banks. And as we look at banking and we look at the world of finance, it's definitely exciting, right? Because we're starting to see a big push on how we can implement tokenization, how we can utilize tokenization, and the opportunities that it really does open. Citi Global Perspectives and Solutions recently predicted that the tokenized securities market may be worth between $4 to $5 trillion by 2030, with private equity and venture capital becoming the most tokenized, followed by real estate. And again, like as we really kind of look at this, like there is so much money behind a lot of these markets. I'm excited for real estate. Like I've said, I've been talking about real estate for so long. It's a $300+ trillion market. It's ripe for disruption. I do agree with this. Like we could very well see 4 to 5 trillion. I would not be surprised if we've seen a lot more. But also, tokenization is driving new value, and Asia is leading the way. This was from July 26, by the way. So across Asia, projects dedicated to asset tokenization have become a cornerstone of the new digital economy, showing the world the technology's possibilities. And this is what we are seeing, right? We're seeing the rise of this new digital economy, and there's going to be a lot of people left behind. And the reason why I say that is because like many don't realize the actual power here behind crypto. They're kind of looking at a few things and they're like, oh yeah, this is kind of cool. Or they're like, focused on like NFTs of JPEG images. Listen, That's not tokenization. That's tokenized art. And a lot of the tokenized art around the space, I hate to say it, is all garbage. It's either, utilized for money laundering, or it's just people, getting rich off of selling trash to people who are willing to buy it. As we look at a lot of the NFTs in this space, it's all speculation, with a lot of the art being generative garbage, where they just generate images. So as we really kind of look at this, tokenization definitely is a huge talking point, and I mean like tokenization of real things, right? Like, having a mortgage, for an example, tokenized, or having, anything. We're talking stock market being tokenized, which is happening right now with the London Stock Exchange. There's a lot of ways of looking at it with, for an example, Alliance Block. Alliance Block is doing some pretty big things. I've been really focused on some of the big avenues for trillions of dollars to get into this market, and tokenization seems like the biggest one right now. We even do see over here, this was June 29th, asset tokenization, $1 trillion market opportunity. JP Morgan, BlackRock, and Goldman Sachs think so. And talking about these big banks, well, check this out. So CNBC recently posted this video, and this goes back to just recently, the 21st, right? And this is the crypto world. How big banks like JP Morgan and Citi want to put Wall Street on a blockchain. Now, this is an 11-minute long video. I'm not going to play it. But we do see investors at the New York Stock Exchange trade upwards of 1 billion shares in a single day. But many of those trades take days to settle. Big banks like JP Morgan and Citi think that they have the solution, and they need to borrow a tool from crypto to make it happen: blockchain. Citi thinks tokenizing assets on the blockchain could be a $5 trillion industry by 2030. But tight regulation of markets and a crackdown on crypto from the SEC could slow adoption. And I do think that regulations is the last obstacle. We're seeing that obstacle being alleviated right now. But this is private equities, right? This is the equities market. This is $100 trillion plus. And the US holds a very large percentage of that. I think it's like 44% the last time that I looked. So if we're talking about that, that's like almost a $50 trillion disruption right there. And these are the big banks. Big banks are bullish on tokenization. It's funny, a video got posted by this individual over on Twitter as well, QNT supercharging Wall Street with OVL. So check this out.
So what could that mean, Gil, for the Quant network in terms of value, in terms of expansion, in terms of just business, given that you have this pluggability now with a trading platform that's already got the door open to a vast network itself? What does it mean to have that first mover advantage?
Yeah, it's kind of like we're the infrastructure to enable this to happen, and so we're our code and our technology will be running kind of, if you think about it, Wall Street. It'll be running how institutions trade. It'll be running how people do settlements and stuff across networks, and how you can move a JP Morgan coin with a Wells Fargo coin. I mean, we can make that happen.
Do you think Wall Street are even aware of just how big not only the Quant network, but just this technology is going to be and how relevant it's going to be in the future?
Yes, they have recognized, and I think it's only been in the last 6 months, 9 months, they have recognized the potential. They've been looking at it for the last couple of years, thinking, what is this? Is this good for us? Should we look at it? Now that they see the potential, and they're all in. I mean, it's reshaping how Wall Street operates, because it's not a technology benefit only. It's actually a business benefit. So you get access to more investors, more institutions, more assets, more markets,
right?
And so for them, it's a no-brainer.
And of course, this is from Quant. They are quoting that article that I just showed you guys, and we do see banking giants such as JP Morgan and Citi want to supercharge Wall Street by tokenizing assets on a blockchain. This technology has the capability to revolutionize financial market infrastructure, says Umar Farouk of JP Morgan. I hope that I'm saying that name right. We make it simple. Learn more about Overledger and how it makes tokenization simple, trusted, and future-proof. And remember, right, what he just said, where he was like, are they here? Are they taking advantage of this? And I recently said over on Twitter, actually, I believe it was right. So let me find it real quick for you guys. So this is what I said, and it was regarding Ripple and XRP. I said, I really believe that up until recently, the traditional world, including the big banks, institutions, enterprise, etc., they all thought that crypto was going to crash and burn and become a big nothing industry. Fast forward to now, this market has become far too big to ignore and even doubt. They all want a piece of the pie, and they need to adopt / utilize this technology because they are all in competition. And I do think that this is right on par with what we are seeing around these big banks flipping bullish on this market. I think that that's why BlackRock is now, trying to jump in with Bitcoin ETFs and all that kind of nonsense. But as we really kind of look at the space, like tokenization is where all the money is. And I do think that Quant is really ahead of the game here. They're already working with big banks. They're even, doing experiments with the BIS, for an example. Tokenization with Overledger, for an example, is a huge thing to focus on, because even though that this isn't including XRP or, your favorite blockchain, I want you guys to realize that, guess what? Through Quant's Overledger, they have exposure to all of the big major networks like the XRP ledger or XDC and even Polygon. I mean, there's so many, major assets within this. And also remember, Hyperledger Fabric, Hyperledger Pursue, exposure to Casper, Hedera, you name it. So as we do look at Quant leading the way, I think that Quant is truly the key for the traditional world to, start bringing their trillions of dollars on chain. And I do think that's happening. I think that's happening slowly but surely. We're not there yet. We're in before the big players. And I even said that over on Twitter as well. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. It's a historical opportunity for the retail sector to finally be in and take advantage of the space before the big money, starts flowing in. So, don't waste this opportunity that we have. Make sure that you are here, you are researching, you are understanding the game at play. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on because more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. This is up to you all. Have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are on this board. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.